Actually, the rain this morning gives a better talk. That's really the talk. If we're there to receive it, I think this is the first time for myself to receive the rain. This is our the end of our year, and it seemed like it went by so quickly with the COVID and everything that's happening in the world. The world's in a contraction, and it's okay as long as we know we're in contraction. I think this year I looked at some of the newsletters that were printed, and I think this year was one of my most deepest years and happiest years. In fact, we cover Yasin Kanla. You have to know what that is. It's about breathing. You have to know about breathing. Zen breathing. Eko Hensho. Eko Hensho is taking the backward step because we're always going forward. We have to learn how to go backwards. So just like when you put 1 foot forward, 1 foot is back, but next 1 foot is back. They work, it always works together. It's not separated like you think. And when it's separated, the subject and the object, the light and the dark, it causes us suffering. That's the whole difficulty in our lives, in humanity's life. It was one in the beginning, then we separated it and made it two. So we have to understand what Eko Hensho means. And well, anyway, just briefly, someone said to me, one student in Canada said, what happens if people don't understand what you say? I said, the most important thing, if I understand what I'm saying. That's pretty good, huh? It's a good answer. But anyway, Eko Hensho is connected to the universe. Zazen, za means sitting, and it's the structure of the ideogram is two people sitting on the earth, not one, not by yourself, but with other people. You have to sit with other people. You're not alone. We're all connected. And Zen is universe. Actually, the ideogram for Zen, the left side means like an altar, and then the other side means single, one, just one, single pointedness, and so you have an altar, and because of that, something appears. Not over there, not outside yourself, but here, something appears. But it's with a lot of training, and people don't like to train anymore, especially young people. Well, the old people too. Everyone's stuck to their cell phones. They live online. No one lives in the present. That's really important because your cell phone will not help you when you're at a stoplight and waiting. It will not help you in the doctor's office when you're waiting. When you're waiting when your mother dies with her, it will not help you. I mean, it's true. The cell phone has no wisdom, no compassion. It has information that you can grasp quickly and think you're on top of it. But it's complete illusion. Hey, I don't have a cell phone. And I'm still alive. And I still enjoy life. Okay? So Eko Hensho. This is really important because means instead of looking out, everything's outside of yourself, you look this way. This is Sanzen. visiting the universe. You look this way. The universe is not out there, it's here first, and then you look out and you can appreciate the infinite wonders of the universe. But when you don't look in here, you'll see the separation. Then when you look out, because you're always looking out, it overwhelms you because there's so many differences. But we don't know that the differences come from the same mother. We come from the same mother. If we knew that, we wouldn't be killing each other. So Echo Hensho, okay, you take your focus or your light and you turn it this way. And then because you turn it this way, this is a very unique, unusual practice. Not many people do that. You train to turn it this way. And what happens? You begin radiating and you return the light. Just like when the sun has not quite risen, it's below the horizon. It has to be below, this is symbolic also. It has to be below the horizon. When it's below the horizon, it's shining, it's illuminating. The sun always shines on itself and it's illuminating now to the universe. It's quite beautiful, and that color touches the tallest mountains and only on one spot, the tallest mountains and the highest trees. I have a poem, okay? Backward step leads forward. Echo Hensho. Throughout the myriad millions of years, space spontaneously receives beyond the speed of sound, alights only on one spot, the tallest mountains, the highest trees, and our unrivaled joy. Hey, how about that? That's from Echo Hensho. Anyway, there's a lot to say in a very short time. Oh, I have to tell you about my experience at the United States Coast Guard. So I thought that was very interesting. And I respect the United States Coast Guard because they save people. They don't kill people. They help people at the risk of their own lives. And actually, there's an ancient practice in the Buddha Dharma, Shishin, something like that. Okay, but it means the ultimate sacrifice is that you give your life. And well, soldiers, actually, when you sign up and you join the army, that's what you're doing, but you don't know it until you're on the battlefield. Then you know what's happening. But in Buddhist history, there's many Jakarta stories how a princess Mahasattva saw a tiger and their cubs were starving. So what he did, he jumped off the cliff into the tiger. So that was the act of Shishin. You also remember there's a lot of stories of parts of the body, finger, or the medicine Buddha when he had counsel or had a meeting with the Buddha, he immolated himself. But this is with the understanding that you have a deep understanding of emptiness, of your true nature. Otherwise, it's just that would be suicide. But this is the understanding of your true nature. Understand? I don't want you to go out and kill yourself now. Okay? But you know, like okay, you remember Thich Quang Duc, 1963, Vietnam, immolated himself, and Sister Fong was there at his residence, and there was thousands of monks, and it was in protest against the Vietnamese government. who was pro-Catholic, but he did it because he was an enlightened person. It was not suicide. And recently, I have to mention Koben Otagawa Roshi. He did the same thing, and this was just a few, maybe less than 10 years ago. His daughter was drowning. The reason why I mention this is because people forget these old practices. They've done it thousands, hundreds of years ago, but we don't read about them anymore because we're caught up within the fake present. But what happened was that uh, Coben was, when I was a young Zen student, 25, 26 years old, I was just admired him so much because he was a younger monk. Suzuki Roshi was, well, he was just 57 then. But Coben was like maybe in his 40s or something. But I would just walk, I just was memorized by him. Everywhere he went, I would follow him. When his robe touched the ground, I would see that. I would see how he put on his robe. But anyway, he was my Zen example. But anyway, um, yeah, I really owe a lot to him and trained under him for 5 years. So what he did when I saw it in their brochure that he committed suicide, their teacher committed suicide. I said, you can't write that. I mean, he's not an ordinary person. Ordinary people sometimes commit suicide, but his is the act of ceasing. He saw his daughter, Maya, it was a very small pond from here to maybe the altar, not very deep. And Coben was extremely athletic. He could do anything. But at that moment, when he ran out, he saw his daughter had already drowned. He jumped into the pond and drowned with her. Now, we have to we have to remember that the historical foundation where our practice came from. You know, it's not just reading a book and you know you read Buddhist books, but you also have to be initiated into the tradition. You wear Buddhist beads, but it has to be blessed. It's just fashion. You understand? Wearing beads is just a fashion. It has to be blessed to have spirit behind it, to have meaning behind it. Okay? So yeah. Oh, back to the Coast Guard. So yeah, I admired them because they rescue people, they help people at the risk of their own lives. So what happened was I went to the base and people, when I mentioned that I've been invited to go to the Coast Guard, they said, well, the Coast Guard are people. Business, human beings are people everywhere. There are business people, there's Coast Guard people. So I went into the base and I was kind of excited to go because I couldn't sleep that night too well. Something new. Uh, so I went into the base, finally found the place, went into the base, and a guard comes out at the gate. He's got a gun in his holster, and he says, your identification. So your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance company. So I my insurance company was that my car was expired already. He said, no, sorry, you can't get in. So you have to pull over there. So I pulled over there. I waited. Oh, the chaplain came out and he said, it's okay. But anyway, I'm on a training base. This is a training base. And actually, a Zen center is a training. not a practice space like all others. And it's a training. The word practice has been removed. It's a training place. Practice is too loose. What do you practice? It's a training of the mind, heart, body, the complete person. The you and me. I'm still training. We all train. There's no end to the training. Okay, so yeah, we went, and oh, I had heard that their light chapel. They call it the light chapel. That they have a cuisine there, and it won an award. So I was, oh, that's good. after after a meeting, I'll have something good to eat. Right? But anyway, there was a discussion, and I said, I asked them, to some of the students that won't be coming, and so they decided to invite some students. So there were like maybe four other priests there, and the Christian priest, it's different than contemplative, like Benedictine uh, fathers or nuns. You know what I mean? Uh, Contemplative practice is different than regular religion because it's just all intellectual. There's no there's there's an intellectual understanding and knowledge of what Christianity is, but it has no stuff to it. There's no actual experience, direct experience that I felt. I felt it more with the students than with and because they're organizers and they have all these categories, but they're good people. They try to be good people, but you can't be good by just not training your body and your mind and your breath. Those three, they have you have to train them together because you've been trained otherwise. We have to undo the training. The training produces conditioned results. Conditioned result produces suffering, and that's what it is. To have the direct experience where the opposites dissolve each other in meditation practice. That's what we're doing. So I'm very happy now. I can explain what zazen is and also demonstrate the opposites. Can you imagine that? The black and the white, the tall and the dark, the small and the big are dissolved in your meditation practice. And you know how you dissolve it? By doing nothing. You're thinking, I mean, you're still there. You're thinking maybe one thought will arise, but you don't entertain it. One thought is not thinking. Two thoughts is thinking, okay? But it's good to have that one thought once in a while because otherwise you'll be dead. Okay? All right. So but it takes training to not to do anything because we're always taught to go forward, to do something, keep your head on. See, these are the conditions that we're freeing ourselves from. So yeah, it's a couple of thousand students come through the Coast Guard, the base every year. So I'm this is the first time I'm mentioning to anybody is that I'm gonna make a connection with the Coast Guard because they need help and they have a lot of young people. One I forget who was the Zen group that has a connection with the U.S. Air Force. And you know that movie Top Gun? I like that movie Top Gun because those planes are big and fast. But when who was the star of the movie? Tom Cruise was, and the woman, the teacher, was talking, and he said, "You can't think up there." And that rang a bell in me. You can't think. You don't have time to think. You know, you're dead. So meditation practice is very good. You reach in for the sugar, you take out 3 little packs each time. Before you think, there's a whole bunch of wisdom that's embodied, that we have not even explored nor experienced. You come to a stoplight, the three stoplights in the row turn green. And you're not doing anything, you're only noticing it. When you're writing with your pen, you could feel the end of your pen on the paper. That's practice, that's training. I'm trying to train my fingers to hit the middle of the computer key. Because if I don't, I can't open my computer, right? Because I'm in a hurry, okay? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that would be great. We have a connection with it. At least I have a connection to you, Coco. Maybe usually we also say something about the things that on a relative basis that have been done here this year. If you want to say something.
Yeah, try to. I have a lot to say, but then at the same time, there's not also much to say. I think that when Roshi asked me just like a couple days ago if we could put something together to name all the activities that we've done throughout the year, I was like sorting through some things, and I found a picture, and the picture was of the bancho bell being installed. So that's the bell that we ring right before zazen is the bell. And the bell, the Zen Center used to have an old propane tank, and so Rinzoin, which is Suzuki Roshi's family temple, they donated this temple bell, and Hoitsu Suzuki installed it. I think it was 75 or 77.
There was a neighbor, Robert Durop. You know Robert Durop?
Oh yeah, we roll over in his grave.
He would kid us about we rang the propane tank. He said, whenever I hear that, I roll over to the other side to sleep. But anyway, that's all we had. But it worked.
So looking at this picture, Hoitsu Suzuki was in this picture and ringing the bell, and the bell has the same sound as the Eheiji bell in the Hato. And so the Eheiji bell in the Hato, when you go up for service, it's rung before the service, and you can hear it's exactly the same sound.
But you should describe the size.
Yeah. Yeah. The size of it is probably like a quarter of this room or something. The
Eheiji bell.
The Daibansho, the great one, but
Yeah.
the Hato bell, which is the same size as ours,
I see.
is rung for service. And on the bell, if you look, the people who ring the bell, it says the characters of it's Sonoma. So Sonoma-san means, of course, Sonoma Mountain, and that's the relative. But so no ma, so is ancestors, and no is capable, and ma is to grind and polish. So it's interesting, I think, what Roshi was talking about, of having these a grind and polish is something to make something bright, but at the same time to make something, when you grind and polish something, you make it one. And so it says Sonoma-san, which is ancestors capable of grinding and polishing. And then Genjo-ji is our temple name, is the present moment becoming. And then on the other side of the bell, it says Namu Shakyamuni Butsu. So I become one with. So I was looking at that picture, and it's very interesting to hear also what Roshi has to say about the two opposites becoming one. So of course there's the absolute, of course, sitting in zazen and you would say doing nothing. But then there's also the relative, in which the function of the temple, when you do nothing, then you actually have to do everything. Or you don't have to do everything. Actually, everything does everything for you. So this is it's quite an interesting perspective, and also a way how we train, or you could say how we practice. So coming on a temple ground, and I remember when I went to Eiheiji, someone was showing me Eiheiji, and Eiheiji is like the Vatican of Soto Zen. So when I was there, I was all like, wow, it's really like, it feels really peaceful, it feels really clean, and but once then I started going there, then you know why it's clean, because there's a lot of work that's put into it, because you're actually the one who's cleaning. So you're the one who is actually grinding and polishing. But this grinding and polishing has to happen when you meet yourself through actually all through the activities of the day of your life. So it can be sitting at a stop sign, or it could be with your family. But that's this grinding and polishing. Then you become the present moment, and then that's when actually all things are liberated. So it's not to just become a good person, not to become a Zen person, but to actually encounter your life wholeheartedly. So within the things that we do here, of course, Roshi asked me to talk about the relative. Is there's many things that we do here at the temple to sustain this body, to sustain the temple. Actually, you could call your own body a temple to sustain it. But to sustain it means to nourish it. And nourishing then comes from grinding and polishing. It could sound it sounds abrasive, right? To grind and polish, but in a way it is abrasive, but at the same time it's nourishing to become bright. It's to become your own true being, but it's not this conditioned being. So that's in the everyday world. When we're doing something with our conditioned mind, then we stamp it with our conditioned thoughts. So we try to make something look clean, but then that's not clean. But when we become when we study this great way with our entire body, then the body cannot help but come forth, and then the great way then it shines back to you, and then that's when all things start doing the activity of the entire universe. It's quite amazing. So sitting zazen, yes, we're completely aiming at this whole body, right? This whole body, when we do zazen. At the same time, when we hit this doing nothing, at the same time, then we do everything. So when we clean here, at the Zen Center, when we cook, when we chop wood, when we cut carrots, when we patch leaky roofs. I mean, I have a whole list here, but I'm not. Oh, here's the. Coco printed this calendar off for me so I could, but I can't see the. But there's many things that we've done throughout the.
Your roof.
Oh yeah, the Kanzeon house roof. You know, springtime, of course, Roshi's new book came out, Mind Sky. We removed actually the great tree in front of the Sangha house. I don't know if you saw that. We had to remove the tree because it was diseased. So we cut a 300-year-old tree in front of the Sangha house. So this was in April.
Yeah, that tree was 5 times higher than the sun's.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
Hoitsu Suzuki and a sensei, Yuko Wakayama, they gave special talks. Of course, we have our 1-day sittings, 5-day sittings, 7-day sittings every month. We studied the Keizan Zenji's Denkaroku, which is transmitting the light. We went through all the ancestors, I think up to Dogen. Was it up to Dogen or past? It was even past Dogen. Yeah. So we that was 12 weeks, and then we just finished. I'm studying another 12 weeks of actually Roshi's new book. In August, then we had our 1 month practice period, and two women. Is it two women were ordained from Poland?
Oh, right.
And then Zenki and Nyoze. It is Nyoze. Nyoze came from Iceland to join us. We went to the Jukai ceremony in Zenshuji for 1 week to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Soto Zen in North America. These are just some of the things I'm mentioning. Of course, we had Buddha's birthday. But it's maybe just returning to this grinding and polishing. I was thinking of the other day of what this grinding and polishing is, but the abrasiveness of grinding and polishing, it turns into a nourishing or a bright quality when there's a wonder behind it. So same here. I mean, you can stay at the Zen Center for a long time, and you can do things over and over again. But the same thing also comes up. We could be hiding also from the world here as much as the world outside hiding from itself. So even when you're at the Zen Center, or when you're not at the Zen Center, what is it, or who is Sonoma? Who is the ancient ancestor that is capable? So that's interesting in the writing on the bell. Who is it that's capable of grinding and polishing? And we have to investigate that, and through the activities of actually working with our everyday life. So I was it was interesting when when I reflected on this grinding and polishing, even sitting zazen, then I remember when I was a little child, and my parents used to take me through a car wash. And in those days, the car wash had, I think they had like, it was like long kind of chamois cloths. Were they long chamois cloths? And then they would like, it was like the octopus, you know, it would squirt like the soap, and then there would be a wax, and then there would be a rinse cycle, and then all the robots, you know, that was high tech. That was high tech back then. It was the car wash. And when it was at the end when the octopus, you know, when they would clean off the car, and then there was the roller that would come up onto the hood of the car, and then they would clean it off. I remember, and just being in wonderment of of seeing it, seeing or being the activity itself. And then of course then the car is clean. So it's the same thing that we do at the Zen Center for this temple, or for the grounds of practice. It could be the, like Katsu Zen's been doing the newsletter for a long time. But within these qualities of practicing, of cleaning, you know, we have to set up the Zendo to have everybody here for this Saturday program. We have to set up the camera. There's people that aren't here also that help support this practice container. So at the same time, when you do something over and over again, there's a quality. I wrote it down. To study the great way with the body comes forth from the study of the way. And what comes forth from the study of the way is the entire body comes forth. And so that's the universe. The universe comes forth. When you're carving the geigyo for the buildings, and there's no one there carving, then the carving starts to do you. The activity starts to do you. The same with when they play basketball, or probably when you do acupuncture. When you're totally one with the present moment, and the present moment becomes, that's the grinding and polishing and the meeting of this. You would say the absolute and the relative. They become together, and then you feel, wow. Then you look outside, and the car is polished. So you don't do anything, but then at the same time we do everything, and it's a lot different a perspective in Soto Zen, is to do with our entire body. And yeah, so then I have the entire universe is this very human body that we have. And also it's also the conditioned body that we have. It's all the karma that's printed in this body. This body is, yes, it is the universe, but at the same time, when we become one and we grind and polish, and we're cutting vegetables, then that's the liberation also of this body at the same time. So we move this body in the relative sense to liberate actually all things. So this is not our practice. So yes, we do come to the Zen Center. I came to the Zen Center to think, oh yeah, it would make me more confident, maybe make me more calm person. It might make me more spiritual, or maybe make your anxiety go away. This is good, but these are all very selfish reasons. But as we grind and polish, then you see the many levels, all the levels, and then this wonder comes up, and then you cannot help, but then the car is clean, or you would say the temple has been built, or you would say that there's a goodness, or even there's a goodness even wearing the malas that you have, but that's with the practice. That's with practice and training. So it is through the chainsawing, being with your family, cooking, cutting wood, stacking firewood, painting, replacing windows, going to work, driving your car, being with your kids, getting mad at people at Costco. It's all a part of it. But if we face it and work with it in a quality of this, you would say, Roshi's saying, with this training, you cannot help but then share this, you would say, basic goodness, or create this enlightened society that we live in. So I think that's enough for the activities that I have to say. But
It's a good time. People have any questions or comments?
or if people want to add.
I'm not sure how to say, but I very much appreciate this messaging. We're over here, just over in Bennett Ridge, and it's all
Where?
Bennett Ridge.
Oh, yeah,
It's like a little bird hop over there.
Yeah.
Driving.
Bennett Ridge, yeah.
And it's like an acre and a half, and it's leaves and grass and wood, and leaves and grass and the raking and exactly what is here. And it has been an aspiration of mine to just, when you rake, when you eat, and when that instant happens, when you can do that, there's such freedom and happiness for the rest of your day and your life. And that's why I appreciate you talking to that, because I'm aspiring to embody that with the training. So thank you.
Or anyone have anything to say that they want to? Oh, when we had service this morning, I was all like, should I dedicate this service to letting go of all the old spirits, like we let them go? That's an interesting one. For you could say the new year, yeah. Now's the new year. Now's the new year. The present becoming, Genjoji is present becoming is the new year. So it never ceases to stop turning. Interesting.
Yeah. To say something. Yeah. So, what I observe is at the beginning or the ending of New Year brings up difficulties for people, lots of people, because they either didn't accomplish what they wanted to do, they're not happy, they don't know what's going to happen the next year. So we have to be patient with that, relax with that, because people can get very angry. I think at the Pine Street Clinic, that's when most of the complaints come out at the end of the year. But just notice that.
We let we let them go.
Yeah.
Yes, we let them go.
Yeah. How about a little voice out there like a yes, huh? Okay. Yes. Yes. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Feel louder than all of you. Hey.
No.
Come on. Yes. Yes. One more time.
Yes!
Okay.
One more time.
Yes!